Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm talking about Bare Steel Equipment's custom pins, and I'm going to cover a few of them because I've had the 3 different types now in the gym for a little while. I've been using them, and I'm going to go over the power pegs, the power pins, and then also the weighted plate pin behind me right here. And stay tuned, we'll talk about it, and I'll tell you why they might be something you might be interested in. All right, welcome back. And in the past, when it came to my band, resistance band setup video, I talked about buying tractor pins to use for your bands. Okay, this was something that came easy to me because we live on a farm. So yeah, we've got some tractor pins at a farm store nearby. When I went and looked around, Rep was sold out, Rogue was sold out. I couldn't find any band pegs sets anywhere. They were sold out, and I think they still might be. So I picked up some tractor pins. They worked actually not too bad. The caveat to that, just like anything, is when you use something and you don't know there's something better, you end up thinking it's not too bad. It works okay, and you end up using it. Well, a good friend of mine, Dustin and Bare Steel, put their heads together and collaborated on a really new idea and came out with the Bare Steel power peg. And that's this guy right here. And this is Bare Steel's version of a band peg. And I tell you, when these first came out, man, they were awesome. I remember looking at them and thinking, that is incredible. Do I need something like that? And I kind of hummed and hawed for a little while, and I'm such a huge fan of Bare Steel equipment, and primarily because everything they do is made in the USA. They're a small company. They're everything that you want to support, you know. Small family-owned business. Their ideas come from the community and the home gym community, and the owner, Sean, is just a really good guy in general. He's been really awesome with customer service and communication, and he's somebody you want to get behind, and I just really like supporting Bare Steel equipment. They've got really good barbells. You know that. I've already done a ton of reviews on their barbells. I'm really a huge fan of those. These are basically the top of the line band pegs that you can buy. You can't buy anything nicer than this, and I tell you, they're not cheap, but they're not designed to be cheap. And it took me a little bit. I finally broke down and bought a set of these, and I tell you, these things are awesome. Once you buy a set of these, you're not going to buy another set again in the rest of your life. This is kind of a lifetime commitment, and I know cry once, buy once, cry once. You know, we hear that a lot, but this is truly what this is all about. And I'll show you some pictures here on just the difference in the size alone versus buying the tractor pegs or just some standard pegs that you can buy generically through Titan, Rep, Rogue, whoever. And you'll see there's quite a huge difference in the size of the pegs itself in terms of the length. Now, one of the huge benefits to these, and I've been using these now for a little while. I kind of held back on doing a review until I used them, and I really, really like them, and there's a few reasons why I really like these. And number one, when you set your band peg up, and I'll show you some pictures of my setups, but you set it, the magnets are so strong, you just set it and forget it. You can just know that that's not going to move. What I've had happen in the past with these tractor pins is I got lazy, I'll be honest. I didn't put the safety pin in. I just never do. I don't know, just something that I don't have time to deal with. I know it doesn't sound right, but these move around. And I have found these slowly walking their way out of the hole as you're doing your training. Sometimes they spin or they rotate. And the peace of mind with a band peg that's just floating in there, kind of, you start to think about it. These guys here from Bare Steel, once you put it in, you can hear that magnet lock. they're not going anywhere. So just, once you're set up, you've got all your bands set up and you've got your pegs in, they're locked and it's done. You don't have to worry about it. That alone, to me, just that peace of mind is worth it right there. Now, yeah, so let's look at the comparison of usable. So these are going to give you just over 7 inches of usable peg sticking out past the 3-inch upright or cross, whatever you want to say, the tubing, as opposed to the tractor pin where you're looking at about 4.5 inches. So this is a case where size matters for sure. You want more sticking out. It just gives you a safer option when you're using your bands. And one more thing too, since I made the review on the resistance bands, I think I did that last year, I've seen the price of these increase quite a bit. I think I was paying somewhere around $10 or $12 or $13 for these, and I saw them at Tractor Supply the other day for $17.99. So, once you start looking at the price, say with taxes, $20 a piece, you buy 4 of those, 48, you're into it for $80. I don't see the value in buying the tractor ones anymore. To me, it's just not worth it. Now, the bare steel power pegs, man, the magnets are strong. Trust me. When you first put it on, you'll know what I'm talking about. These guys here, I want to say they're retailing for around $150, and you can get a discount if you're a veteran or law enforcement, military, fire, etc. You can use, I believe, a GovX discount at Bare Steel Equipment. They also do have sales throughout the year, so watch for their sales. Also, I can give you a discount for $10 off using code MAC10. And so those little things help. I get that they're not cheap, but you're paying for, like I said, lifetime quality, and you'll never, ever have to buy another set in your gym. So it's kind of a nice thing. And like I said, you can't buy anything nicer than that. They are made from steel. So there's been a few questions from people asking me, are they stainless? Are they steel? They are an alloy steel that is as corrosion resistant as you can get. And these ones here have 0 corrosion on them. You can't see any, well, just a little spot right there. And they're holding up really well for being out in the garage. Now, of course, we're in California, so it's pretty dry here. But let me just take this a little step further, and I'm going to pause the video and show you if you do get a tiny bit of corrosion. If you do get a little bit of surface corrosion on these, the nice thing about being steel is it's very easy to just buff them up and get it removed. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. All right, guys, so we were just talking about, because these are steel, you might get just a tiny little bit of, let's see if the camera will catch it. I'll show you a picture of it. Surface corrosion, especially if it's in your garage. If it's in your house or your basement guys, you guys got the AC and you've got the heat in the basement, you won't have any issue with this. These ones here are probably 6, 7, actually no, they're older than that. These are probably 11 months old, almost a year, and they have just the faintest amount of surface corrosion. I'll show you how to get rid of it. It's really easy, and it's really, what makes these really nice is you can keep these forever, and you can continually just, if you want, just buff them up. So just take a piece of Scotch-Brite. Gray is a really fine Scotch-Brite that works really well. You don't need to use any type of like polishes or anything like that. You can if you want to, and that will remove it as well. But I always have a piece of this in the garage, and I just use it to scuff up any surface that's got a little bit of steel or chrome or anything, and just run that on there. It doesn't take very much, and it'll buff that right off. And like I said, it might take a minute. And if that's something that's really bothers you, it's not a big deal to scuff it up and get it back going again. This is their new embossed logos, and they are awesome. The old ones used to be just like almost just like a sticker, really. And I'll show you a couple pictures of before and after. But these new logos are badass. I'm loving them. And when you buy yours, you'll get the new embossed logos. So they're really cool. Anyway, that's a little picture of that. And I just wanted to show you, if you do get any like little bit of surface corrosion, it's really easy to deal with, and kind of give you a little tip on that. So yeah, all right, we'll go back to the review. Okay, we're back on the review here, and I'm just going to show you one of the applications that I used for these power pins. And this is basically replaces these type of hitch pins here. Now, I'm going to try to do this with one. Let's see, we'll put that there. We'll pop this out. So these are the AM2s, and they come with just your standard hitch pin style pin, and you can take the bare steel power pin, stick it in, and it's done. It's a little bit lower profile, and if you're really worried about your plates hitting on this side, you can always reverse these pins over. Now, it might not be a necessity, but it sure looks good. It just, to me, finishes off the fit and finish of the AM2s, and I really like how they look and how they perform. They're really easy to deal with, and they don't stick out a huge amount on this side as well, so they're a nice length on that. Of course, if you haven't seen my review on the power stacked, well, actually, so bare steel stacked pin, this guy here, I do have a review on that, so check that out. And it also, these will come with the new embossed logos on there, and I'm telling you, they look awesome. You can have these done in a custom as well, emblem, whatever emblem you want to use. I should also mention that these pins, actually all their pins, the stacked pin, the power pegs, the power pin, can be ordered in a custom color, a Cerakote color. So if that's something you're interested in, you can order it. It is a bit of an add-on price. For me, I like the bare steel just because, like I was showing you earlier, it's really easy just to take a little piece of Scotch-Brite or maybe some metal polish and just polish them up, and you can keep them looking new. Cerakote, it might wear a little bit. It's just something that you won't be able to do that with. So I like the bare steel option. Again, the company's called Bare Steel. It makes sense to me, and it's really easy to take care of. One more thing too, actually, I got one of the early versions of the bare steel pegs. And funny enough, I had them stored just like this. See if you can see that. But they were sitting in my rack like that. And I noticed a tiny little bit of red oil on the bottom of them. And I contacted Bare Steel, and of course, they had actually heard about this issue, and what it is they use a type of compound, almost like a Loctite, when they press these pins into the receiver side. And I guess because it got so hot in the garage, you know, we're hitting hundreds plus here, that some of that oil had seeped out and leaked onto the bottom of the pin. Since I've talked to Sean at Bare Steel, they've modified how they make these, and they no longer use that oil, so it's not a problem that you guys are going to encounter. I just wanted to throw it out there so some of the early buyers might have seen some of that. It's nothing to worry about. It's just something you can clean off really easily, and it goes away. So anyway, I'll show you a picture. I've got a little bit of residual here, and you can kind of see that little bit of oil there. And it's actually not oil. It's, like I said, it's a compound. I'll throw a picture of what it actually is up in the corner here. So yeah, these things are awesome. Like I said, when I'm training with bands, these are my go-to. I don't use tractor pegs anymore. I'm hesitant to even recommend them anymore due to the prices have gone up so much. I would say definitely try to buy yourself a dedicated set of band pegs. If you can't afford the Bare Steel ones, look at Rep, look at Rogue, and see what you can get. But if you really want to get the best and just buy them once and you're set for life, these are the ones to buy. And again, check out Bare Steel's website. They're always coming out with new equipment, new innovation. I know they've got some awesome knurled handles for power blocks and stuff like that. They're coming out with some new cable attachments. So keep an eye on their website. And like I said, they do discounts for veterans, police, fire, and emergency personnel. And also MAC 10 gets you $10 off any purchase at Bare Steel. I am an affiliate of theirs. I really believe in their products, and I believe in the company. So yeah, and again, shoot me a message and put a comment down below if you got any questions or if there's something that you want to see reviewed. Again, I appreciate you guys following the channel, and we've got lots more reviews coming. So stay tuned. Thanks.